Alright, that was a good season, but unfortunately that means the trend is going to continue, so once I get to next season, whoo, I'm gonna be nervous, especially with the warnings I've been given by a couple of commenters. Yeah, spooky. But anyways, I really enjoyed the season. We had a good twist that actually shook up the game during the game, and really reshuffled the cards rather than just having one twist at the very beginning that threw the relationship between the house guests all over the place. And then also this time, even though control did shift, Four Horsemen, Girls plus Will Alliance, Twins, and then it appeared to keep flip-flopping between Neko, Mez, and Drew, it was a lot easier to follow the progress. So, I'm really glad about that. It was a bit of a bummer that we didn't seem to get as great characters, but I get the feeling that once I get later into the show, looking back, I feel like there will be some good characters. Who, I honestly can't say yet. So, let's talk about each of the major events. So, first of all, the Four Horsemen. Okay, Jace, why do you think that just because you have a 4 to 5 minority, or even if it's 4 to 3, that suddenly you're unbeatable? You're not, because this isn't like Survivor, where if you have a majority, you can knock off all but one of the minority with absolutely no problem. Here, you must win every single HOH competition, and then if you lose it, you're basically screwed, because even if you lose it and then you put off on the block, then get the power of veto, your closest ally is just going to be put off instead. They just lower the totem pole. Dude, okay? You're almost as bad as Matt and his Strongman's Alliance and the Cool Guys Alliance and Survivor 26. I shouldn't have to explain that one. Sorry if you're not a Survivor fan and you're watching this. It's just a comparison that I do because I watch multiple reality shows. So, that was just madness. Although, when he actually realized that there was no more fight that he could give, he did manage to take it a lot better than I thought he was going to, because once he realized that there was nothing he could do, I think he actually did make a step to sort of repair a bit of the damage he did, because when he left, he really did leave with a positive attitude, and I was glad to see that, because even though he is one of the season's quote-unquote villains, I don't think he's as bad as a couple of other villains that I've seen. His exit was pretty good. So moving on to the twins. Now, I like the twist that they were leading up to, and I was amazed that they were able to swap interchangeably like that. And then, once Jace is gone, they make that bid for power and just totally ignore the fact that they've got allies in there. And how did you think you could succeed? Just, oh my god. It was stupid. And I mean, like, Will, after he was booted, did display a bit of an arrogant side, but when you think about this, the twins are the ones with the stick, and Will got the sharp end of it. The twins are the ones doing this, so yeah. So in a way, it's kind of justified that he at least is complaining about them. Yeah. I'm not going to discuss Marvin, no real comment on him. I didn't think he'd win. And then we get to the Cowboy and the Gomez twist. Well, that twist actually, of course, didn't really affect the game that much. It mainly affected the relationship between them. And it was sort of interesting to see how they behaved. Then you've got that promise not to put them on the block. Well, it all depends. Do you really view somebody being put up as a pawn as putting them up on the block? Now I know what you're thinking. in Big Brother 3, the pawns kept getting booted, well, it was a little bit different then because the house didn't have as much unity, and Jason and Danielle were kind of throwing the votes all over the place. Here, the house had a bit more unity in terms of getting rid of the twins, so Cowboy should have had a little more security in that, so I don't completely see it as putting him on the block, but yeah, he did have a right to sort of complain. Then him getting rid of Nate Comas at the Final Four, well, it was true that the last time that he was put on the block because of Nate Comas and all that, he definitely was more likely to get booted. So that time, I think, is understandable. And I agree, he didn't make a huge commitment to Nate Comas to say, I'll take you to the end. He did say that I'd like to, but he never made the formal promise. Diane, he did have more of a promise. But still, Cowboy, just what is it with you and winning these competitions? Just, God, man. And then Drew voted to evict Diane. I was shocked by that because had he evicted Cowboy, he had it pretty much in the bag. Now, I figured that he was the most likely person to win both ways. I felt that way once he got to the top 5, but... Whoa, dude, I did not see that coming. Cowboy vs. Drew, I honestly couldn't decide who I wanted to see win. I felt that they both had their pluses and their minuses. And I felt like the 4-3 vote was the right way to go, especially with Will being the tiebreaker, although I was shocked that Nate Comas voted for Cowboy. Drew winning, I've got no complaints with him because he was with the majority for basically all of the events of the game, and he did win HOH a few times. He caused dynamics in the house to shift. He made mistakes. He realized that. He formed a good relationship or interacted with pretty much every single person on the jury, and I feel like he deserves it. Like I said, I couldn't predict who I wanted to see win. So, it was a good season. Now let's see if the odd-even curse continues.